hope you had your seatbelt on for that virtual crash. I'm Dave Upton, your host for In-Cab RC Videolink. This inclusive video will cover detailed information on subassemblies, installation, hookup, and how to use your Videolink to its maximum potential. Whatever you do, don't go away. At the end of this tape, I have some exciting bonus footage for you where I will take you to the beautiful Pacific Oregon coast where you will meet with Larry Broman, member of the AMA Show Team of Oregon, the Tidewater Tail Draggers, where we will take Larry on a virtual ride over the Pacific headlands. The first thing I want to cover is, what is a Videolink? A Videolink is a wireless signal that can carry your airborne video and audio to the ground where it can be viewed on a monitor of your choice. A Videolink can seemingly place you in the cockpit of an RC aircraft.
This is almost like sitting in a real airplane. The view is just incredible.
Let's get started, shall we? Shown here are the basic components needed for the 900 megahertz audio video link. We have the 900 megahertz audio video receiver, the 900 megahertz T2 transmitter with range up to 2 miles. We have our flight pack, which consists of a micro fuse and a switch, a Y harness for connection of power between the transmitter and the camera. This is the color camera. This is the PC44 and the PC18XSA black and white camera. Both cameras have audio. Now we'll give you a little more information about the individual products. Starting with the 900 megahertz receiver. This unit has given us hours of drift-free signal reception because of its phase lock loop receiver. The unit is quite simple to use. We show here that we have simple RCA audio and video output. They're even color-coded for the use of the consumer, white being the audio and yellow being the video. Here we have our DC 15 volts input and our Type F connector, right angle rubber whip antenna included. Shown here, configured in a suitable enclosure, is the black and white PC18XSA with a high quality multi-element medium wide angle micro lenses with audio. The PC18's resolution is a stunning 380 lines with a solid state CCD imager and automatic stepless electronic shutter. Here's the PC44 camera. This color camera has an advanced DSP chipset and features auto gain control, auto white balance, auto backlight control, and an electronic shutter. Its 78-degree field of view lens with 330 lines of resolution produces a stunning RC aerial video. Next is our transmitter of choice, the high-power 900T2. This awesome transmitter not only features compact lightweight construction, but will give us a range of nearly 2 miles with the standard rubber whip antenna. This transmitter features plug-and-play audio and video connections and power supply hookup. One thing I wanted to mention, it's not necessary to have a custom-built aircraft to use a Videolink. Here we have constructed a simple enclosure that will house our Videolink package. It's made out of some 1/16 light ply, so the enclosure is relatively light in construction. On the bottom, it is in the shape of an airfoil, so it can sit on top of the wing saddle and be secured evenly. On the interior, we use some simple bracing of some 3/8 square hardwood stock, and we use balsa wood for the floor, some 1/32 sheeting, I believe. and the addition of some dowels. The dowels we will use in order to secure the aircraft, or rather to secure the video link onto the top of the aircraft by using the existing rubber band mounts on the trainer aircraft we're going to use. Let's get started by installing our battery, fuse, and switch assembly. This is slightly different than what we showed you a few moments ago. This here is actually a NiCad rechargeable battery pack. This takes 9 cells producing 1.25 volts to attain our 12 volts nominal voltage. We made up a simple wiring harness using black for the negative, red for the positive, with a little bit of heat shrink applied. Now we have our inline fuse holder with a 1 amp fast acting fuse and a micro switch and a male jack. This is a very valuable piece of information I'm about to give you, and that is checking the polarity on your battery packs and your systems. In most cases on the systems that we have purchased, on the polarity, the jack, the center portion is positive and the outer portion is negative. And I would highly recommend that you check all your power supplies to make sure they have been wired correctly. If you make up your own, it's very simple to check. All we need to do is turn our master switch on. We'll place the positive lead inside of the jack and the negative on the outside of the jack. And as we can see here, we have nearly 12 volts. If we switch the leads around, you would find you would get a negative reading on your voltage. Reverse polarity can be very damaging to the micro video products, so please take the time to check your polarity. Now we can place the battery into the bottom of the enclosure, and we'll remove the retaining nut and washer. As you can see, we had previously pre-drilled this hole. The switch location is not critical. This just seemed to be the best location for our need. This is to give you a better look at what we've done so far. We've installed the switch. The battery is sitting in the bottom of the enclosure, and there once again is our fuse and our male jack for power. Now we will install the transmitter. Previously I had installed what I call as a sticky back. What it's used for is when you want to use a tie wrap or a retainer. There's an adhesive back on this that can be removed, and now we can stick this in place on the location intended. A lot of times I'll rough the surface area with some sandpaper, and I might use a little bit of thin CA glue on this so I get 100% adhesion. Here's the transmitter that we will install next. Previously I drilled a hole in the cover for the antenna to slide up through, like so. Now we will place the transmitter inside. Now we'll simply fold up some foam and slide that in place by the transmitter. This will help reduce some of the shock and help hold our transmitter in the location that we need it to be. Now we'll check the lid for fit to see if we're even somewhat close. It looks like our transmitter needs to slide back just a little bit, and we can move this around in here somewhat. Now we're ready for our Y connector. What our Y connector does for us is allows us to come with power off of the battery into the Y harness, splitting power for 2 different locations. One which will feed the transmitter, and the other which will feed the camera. Also, you can notice again, we've used some colored tape for lack of confusion when assembly of the camera and the transmitter. Now our connections are all made. Next step will be to use some of the soft foam. We will wrap the camera and install it into the enclosure. Let's start by placing the foam into the bottom of the enclosure. This will wrap the camera securely. Now we will place our PC-18 on top of the foam as to look out the front of the enclosure. And we'll wrap the foam up around the top. Now at this point, we're just going to simply fold the cabling up, the excess cabling, and we'll fold it into the top of the enclosure. Now at this point, before we fasten the lid down, we'll fire up our Videolink here in the shop and we'll check to make sure our camera is facing upright, or maybe when we installed it ended up on its side. At this point you will need a monitor of some type. You could use either a TV VCR combination like we have shown here, or you could use your color camcorder as well. But we're going to go ahead and use the television. Now the simple installation of the audio video cable will go from the audio output and the video output down to the input of the television set, video and audio, and last but not least, up on the receiving unit we'll plug in our 15-volt AC power supply to the DC input of the receiver. Now with our receiver and television turned on, let's turn the switch on for the Videolink. This preliminary test is very important because you'd be pretty frustrated if you got out to the field to find that your setup actually didn't work. And there's our cameraman. Now that our test is complete, we're ready to install the cover for the enclosure. Make sure that your foam is in place and that your cables are tucked down in out of harm's way. Simply slide the cover down into place, and we've used 4 screws for this application. Here are just a few of the possibilities that you may choose to use to view your video from the ground. One of which is a camcorder, which in my opinion is the simplest to use. By using the camcorder to view your video through the eyepiece, you can also record your video live from the ground. Second would be a color TV VCR. This also gives you the ability to record your flight directly onto VHS and play it back later for your friends. Third could be a black and white television set that's relatively inexpensive and works just great as a monitor with a shield over the top to block out the backlight. And my viewer of choice is the virtual headgear, which seemingly puts you in the cockpit of your aircraft of choice. A field support power supply package that I chose was a DC to AC power inverter. This is very simple to use. It provides us with a couple of different outlets and gives us the ability to power several 120 volt devices at the field for our Videolink system. At purchase of our unit, we found that it comes ready to install into a cigarette lighter, which can work well for a number of different applications. And with the addition of a simple adapter, now we can hook up our power supply to either a remote car battery or this hobby gel cell. Important that your battery is providing a minimum of 12 volts DC current. Otherwise, your power inverter will not function correctly. You may choose to also provide a surge suppressor. This one we chose here has a number of electrical outlets, plus provides protection for our micro video circuits. Installation is very simple. We simply plug this in to our inverter and we're ready to hook up our television set and the power supply for the receiving unit. Please don't forget, before heading out to the field, make sure your batteries are fully charged. Here is the SIG LT40 we earlier mentioned that our good friend Jim has loaned us for the afternoon. One great point about these lightweight airborne video packs is you don't need a big expensive aircraft to use them. A 40 size trainer with a healthy engine will do a good job just the same. Jim's LT40 is powered by a Super Tiger 40 size glow engine, and believe me, it has power to spare. Well, let's get started by placing our Videolink enclosure on the aircraft. As you can see, the enclosure fits quite well. Now let's grab a handful of those SIG rubber bands and start by placing them from the enclosure to the airplane. Use an amount sufficient enough so as the enclosure will not detach in flight. Next, it is very important you make a proper check of the balance of the aircraft after placing the enclosure on top. A tail-heavy condition could lead to your aircraft going out of control. This could be quite costly if not properly checked. After fueling the aircraft and checking the batteries, we'll make sure all control surfaces are in place and secure. Now let's check our video link after being installed on the LT40. Make sure antennas are installed vertically to one another. This is very important for the performance of your video link. And last but not least, before taking off, be sure to make a proper range check after installing the video link. If your range check does not pan out, you may need to relocate your video link transmitter. So far, we have had no problems in this area. Well, let's get in the air, shall we? As you can see, our black and white camera gives us a great picture with stunning resolution. Even with our enclosure mounted above the wing, the SIG LT40 is capable of some aerial stunts. If you find you are having poor signal reception, here are a few items to check. Number 1, are the airborne batteries fully charged and have a voltage sufficient enough to operate the system? Number 2, are the receiver batteries fully charged? And number 3, are the antennas installed correctly and mounted in plane with one another? If you still have reception problems after checking these items and all of the connections, contact the distributor you received your product from. They may have another solution. Well, let's get lined up for a landing sequence. Back on the ground, safe and sound, it's safe to say our simple in-cabin closure works just great. This is our custom-built twin-engine aircraft. We've used this for a video platform and photography as well, and has given us many flights that were very successful. This custom aircraft has the ability for camcorder installation, which would sit underneath this hatch that we have designed for easy access, and also for a video link, which our camera will sit right up here in the 1/32 Lexan windshield area. Now let's get started with the installation of the Videolink in the twin-engine aircraft. We'll start by installing the switch and the battery pack. It's not real critical where the battery pack is placed as long as it does not affect the balance of the aircraft. Here we have placed the battery pack in the nose, which helps balance our aircraft more correctly. If you look down inside the fuselage here, you will see what I refer to as sticky backs. What those are used for is to hold the wire tie wraps in place. We can then strap our battery pack in place without it moving about the fuselage on us, as you can see on the far side of the nose where our flight pack is installed. Next, we're going to install our transmitter. Here we have taken a piece of latex foam rubber and have sliced a notch in it so we can have a little bit of extra padding and protection around our transmitter. Now in this situation, the transmitter will be placed down through the fuselage through a hole which we have already made, and right down into place it goes. Now, by the use of another sticky back and a tie wrap, we have secured the transmitter in place. Now we're ready for the camera installation. Here we are again with some more foam. This is a little bit different than the eggshell foam that we were using just a little bit ago. This is a soft, nice shock absorbing, noise absorbing foam. And what I'm intending to do here is I'm going to cut out a block that will fit inside the nose of the fuselage. I'm going to cut the foam about 3/4 of an inch oversize, and this isn't real critical. A good guesstimate should work just fine. And we can slide this down here just to get an idea of how snug we're going to be. That looks like should work quite well, and we'll place this down in here to get an idea where we need to cut across the top. The purpose for cutting the foam oversize primarily is to help hold the camera in place. When we insert the camera in the hole that we'll make in the center here in a moment, it will tighten up the foam and hold our camera in the location that we would desire it to be in. Now, with our foam cut, we will slide it down to place one more time. And I like that. That looks real good. I can see where that's going to stay in place real well. Something else I might mention, in case you didn't notice, we have a little bit of black construction paper on the inside cheeks of the firewall. And the purpose for that is whenever light is being cast into this Lexan windshield, it will cause a reflection to bounce around the inside of the nose piece. And that can change the lighting condition that your camera thinks it's seeing. So it can give dim shadows and underlighting or underexposure on your video image. So by placing the black on the sides of the cheek, that does away with that particular problem. Now that we've marked the location that we prefer to have our camera installed at, we'll cut out this piece of foam. And okay, now that we've made our hole in the foam, we will install the camera. And this is pretty much what we were after here. Now, just simply place the camera and the foam in the nose of the airplane. Now we will finish making the connections for the audio and the video and the power. We will turn on our camera now and check our point of view. It's that simple. Now let's head to Coquille, Oregon, where the show team anxiously awaits our arrival. This is a 1/4 scale J3 Cub. We have used this aircraft to do camcorder video as well as photography. Here you can see we have installed a wooden platform to attach our camera to. Another great way to mount your video camera would be on a rotating platform. This was very simple to construct. It consisted of a piece of 1/8 hobby light ply for the mounting base or mounting platform. I chose a 1/4 scale servo because of the large platform it provided for stability for the camera to rotate on back and forth. A piece of light balsa, which we then soaked with cyanoacrylate glue in order to make it hard and stiff, and some industrial strength Velcro added to the top. This allows us to take and place our video camera right on top of the servo, and by using a proportional channel, which we will show you in a moment, we can rotate the camera back and forth. Now we'll install our rotating platform. I'm sure you'll figure this out, but I would definitely recommend to plug in the servo into the receiver first. Now we'll simply secure the platform with some sheet metal screws. This is quick and very simple. We've had great results with this rotating platform and have found that the micro video cameras are quite impervious to vibration. I still recommend, however, if in a case that you can use the foam, I would recommend using it to prolong the life of the camera. But this does make for an excellent effect. Now we'll place our color micro video camera onto the Velcro rotating platform. And now we can simply change the view of the camera, whether it's looking out the side window or looking out the front of the aircraft. Another possibility, or substitute rather, for a micro video camera would be to use your camcorder. If you have a large enough aircraft that you can squeeze your camcorder into, you could plug the T2 transmitter directly into the line output of your camcorder. Then you'll be looking through the eye of the camcorder for your video link. And once again, real simple installation on the plug and play connections. Now you have a camera. With the addition of heavy-duty Velcro to the top of the micro camera, we can now mount it outside of the aircraft to obtain multiple camera angles. Installation is quite simple. Clean the surface area intended for mounting with denatured alcohol and place your Velcro in the desired location. Between a rotating platform and multiple camera angles outside the aircraft, you have a greater sense of being inside. Here is the Yagi high gain antenna. This antenna works great for extending the range of the T2 transmitter from 2 miles to nearly 3 miles. Use is quite simple. Hold the antenna pointed out from yourself with the tines pointed vertically. At this time you simply track the aircraft in flight by pointing the antenna at the target. Now let's head to a local ranch with the Cub and show you some of the benefits from using multiple camera angles. Now let's head to the Oregon coast for the bonus footage I earlier promised you. The Oregon coast is famous for its sea lions and whales. Hey Larry!
Hi Dave, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Glad you can make it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really exciting today. A little bit of virtual reality flying over the headlands of the beautiful Pacific Oregon coast. This custom-built twin engine with video equipment weighs approximately 17 pounds, has an 84-inch wingspan, and is powered by two OS 46LA engines. These engines were later replaced by the more powerful 46FXs. Here is a simple setup of the field recording equipment. We've got most of our equipment set up at this point, and Larry, you're just going to scream when you see this cool headgear. Check this stuff out. We're going to put this on your face, and not only will you be able to see the flying from the ground, but you'll be able to hear it in your ears also.
Oh, there it is. That's cool.
At this point, we should take a quick look and pre-flight the aircraft. We can start by looking inside. We'll check our elevator and our rudder connections to make sure everything is free of movement and is securely mounted. Make sure the receiver is mounted securely and everything is plugged in correctly. And we'll take a brief look at the tail, make sure that our clevises are all intact, everything's free of movement and is not hanging up. While Larry's fueling up the engines, we're going to check the batteries on the aircraft. This is something I strongly recommend doing before every flight. And as you can see, we have 5.5 volts. That's great. We're in good shape. A dead battery on an airplane would not be a pretty sight. As we showed you earlier, we took the time to carefully color code our audio and video cables for ease of hookup in the field and less confusion. We have white for the audio, yellow for the video, and red for our power connection.
We're geared.
Due to the lack of pre-planning for the needed field support equipment, we were forced to return another day. You can make a sure bet on our return we will have a 12-pack of props in hand. This time I will carefully taxi the airplane out to the runway to keep it from blowing over in the coast winds.
Welcome to the beautiful, sunny southern Oregon coast. Soaring above our golden sand beaches, this is really something to see. This puts a whole new twist on the RC hobby, I think.
Surf's up. We're headed for the deck. Did someone say, buzz the runway? Flap set, trim set, carb heat on, and we're lined up to land. The following week, we installed a rotating platform on the Twin and headed back for the beach. Through the course of filming this video, we've made a number of changes to our twin-engine aircraft. Earlier in the videos, we showed we'd installed the PC-44 behind the 1/32nd Lexan windshield. Now taking its place is an aerial still photography camera. Below that, mounted, is now our PC-44 on a rotating platform as seen in the J3 Cub installation. Behind that, on the belly, we have Velcro mounted our T2 transmitter. As you can see, a rotating platform gives you more of a 3D view. let's get down on the deck for some mild aerobatics. Could have been a lot worse. Well, in case you're wondering what happened, we didn't time our fuel consumption correctly. And on final, both of our engines ran out of fuel. And it actually incurred light damage. We just broke the horizontal stabilizer. And it could have been a lot worse. With a little bit of glue and some covering, she'll be ready to go in no time.